Kevin Porter Jr., who is the
He needs to be
Houston
hitting the
Rockets.
net.
Yeah, he is the Houston Rockets. He's a player on the Houston Rockets, and he allegedly fractured his girlfriend's vertebrae in an NYC hotel meeting. He was arrested for this. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Take a look.
NBA player Kevin Porter Jr. was arrested at a Manhattan hotel for domestic assault, allegedly. Police say the Houston Rockets guard assaulted his girlfriend at the Millennium Hotel overnight. News 4's Mark Santia live on the east side with what we know about this alleged attack. Mark.
And Natalie, police were called to the hotel this morning around 6:40 for a dispute. Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr. walked out of the 17th precinct to an awaiting police car. Porter Jr. is facing assault and strangulation charges for an alleged attack inside the Millennium Hotel. Multiple law enforcement sources with knowledge of the case say Porter Jr. returned to the hotel this morning. His girlfriend was asleep inside their hotel room. Law enforcement sources say Porter Jr. entered the room. Minutes later, those same sources say his girlfriend was running through the hotel hallway screaming for help. Police arrested Porter Jr. His girlfriend was taken to the hospital with multiple injuries, including bruises on her face. Porter Jr. said nothing as he left the 17th precinct late this afternoon. The Houston Rockets released this statement a short time ago saying, quote, "We are in the process of gathering information surrounding the matter involving Kevin Porter Jr. We have no further comment at this time." An NBA spokesman said, quote, "We are aware of the reports regarding Kevin Porter Jr. The league office is in contact with the Houston Rockets and in the process of gathering more information." Porter Jr. was taken by police downtown in Manhattan Criminal Court, where he's expected to face a judge this evening.
What is the problem with people trying to seek mental health? Mental health services. I don't understand. I at this point, I think it should be mandatory if you are in any type of job, if you are working, if you whatever. I think it should be mandatory for you to have a mental health evaluation or talk to somebody, or at least be in counseling for whatever, even if you're not in an active crisis. Because I think oftentimes people feel like they have to be in an active crisis in order for them to go see a therapist, or something has to have happen for them to see a therapist. And oftentimes therapy is not just for preventative intervention. It's also for prevention. And I think that this is part of the problem, especially, first of all, if you want to start with reparations, give all Black people free mental health services, period. How about that? How about we start there? Since we want to talk about we need to do reparations, let's start with that. Because there's generational trauma that's happening, and I'm constantly seeing Black men beating, hitting, harming, doing something negative to a Black woman, and it's really frustrating.
So I'm first and foremost, I don't want to allegedly say a lot of stuff. However, because allegedly he did this, so they say, how they go. But the one thing that I'm gonna say, he's 23 years old and he makes a whole lot of money. And a lot of times in those situations, when these men are making this level of money, they are very disrespectful to the women that they have. So, because they think that the money constitutes for them to be able to treat them any kind of way. Now, do we know what happened? No. If she was asleep and then you come in and you do all of that, what happened in the midst of that? But I believe that when you have entertainers, sports entertainers, music, rap, all of that stuff, these boys is getting millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they're that young, they need somebody from as you say, the mental stance. They need to seek psychiatric help, because the one thing I've come to learn about these young men with this money, as soon as they get their money, they think they are invincible.
So I agree with that, Mona, and I feel like that's a whole new money situation, and that's what I mean. Like, this is why it's important to have a team, because your team is not just there to do your bidding and to give you, to help you to assist you and stuff like that. You need to have advisors. You need to have people that you can bounce ideas off of. You need to have people that has been through the stuff where I have people who I call who don't work for the company, that are there for my personal and my professional advising and what I call my advisory committee. Because one of the things that people forget is that you are going through life, and pyromaniacs, hear me well when I say this. It is important for you to make sure that you listen to your counsel. That does not mean that you have to follow everything that they say, because ultimately you have to make your own decision based off of the counsel that you have, right? But I listen to my counsel. I take in what they say and I judge based off of what they say, how I need to navigate things. Because oftentimes when you are walking alone and you are going into situations that you're not new in, you then have to deal with experience. And oftentimes and sometimes you have to deal with that. There's only certain spaces that you can learn from experience, right? There's only certain things that you can go through in life where you only learn from experience. However, there's certain things that I did not have to go through because I watched my older brothers go through stuff, or my uncles told me something, or my aunts told me something, or an elder said that, I went through this, for me. Don't do that. So there was a lot of things that I personally avoided. One of my uncles was in gangs. I completely avoided gangs because of what he told me and his experience through all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking anybody that has been through things. What I'm saying is that when you learn something and you know better, you do better. And so for me, he obviously, and I hear what you're saying, Mona, but I think also when you don't have the tools, because a lot of times, I'm just going to go, and this goes for people who go to church too. You can go to church, you can go to seek therapy, you can go to do all these different things, but then you're not taking in and utilizing those tools to navigate through life. So then you go back into a cycle of the same thing that you're doing over and over again. So he's going to continuously go through these issues with women if he does not get the help that he needs to fix it.
Honestly, I feel
like first time.
I mean, and honestly, like you said, because this story has to be followed because it's developing. You really don't know. I mean, I don't know if he had a bad practice. I don't know if you went in and went through a phone. What I do know is you need to keep your hands to yourself. But I don't think that it has anything to do just with an age perspective, because he's 23, I'm 28. I think it has everything to do with a maturity perspective, because there's people that are way older than me that are not mature, people that are way younger than me that are more mature than I am. I think that he does need some type of mental health, sit down, some information. But I also think at the same time, you need to make sure that you really see, why did you do this? And I would love to hear when she make a statement like, did he go through your phone? Did he lose? Was practice bad? Like, what's going on? And not only that, make sure that when you have advisory boards or committees or a therapist, make sure that you have somebody that is not just a yes man. Because if you have just a yes man in your corner, you have an enabler. And so you have people that really don't see where you're wrong at, and people that are brush this under the rug, because it's not cool for you to put your hands on nobody, especially not no woman. I mean, and then on top of that, you one of us putting your hands on a woman. Oh, so they would love to eat you up with this. And I think that we don't focus on that enough. Like, they're looking for a reason to put black men behind bars. There any reason.
Come on.
So that's why I make sure I don't do a bunch of speeding. I don't let my tags go bad. I don't be acting like a hoodlum out in public. It's just certain things that I do. Not that I can't. It's just certain things that I do because I know they're looking for a reason to put you behind bars. And
look
he
here.
needs to have that type of sit down. Like Kwame say, you have people that you see and you learn from the experience and say, I'm not going to do that. Because this right here, what the hell made you go in there and go berserk on her? And she in there sleeping, and she running through the hotel asking for help. What happened
and you
to you? What's going on?
You crack her vertebrae.
Yeah.
So there's a level of rage that you were at that don't even make sense, because you could, whatever it was, you could have walked out. And as big as you are, and as tall as you are, and as strong as you are, it would have been easier to just walk out and let it. I don't care what y'all were arguing about. And I ain't a believer of women putting their hands on men either. Everybody keep their hands to themselves, because everybody been raised. So they don't need to be re-raised by nobody. And mentally, and I remember back in the day with a lot of these sports people, they had PR people. They had people that was there Today, they don't have people that's there. They don't have nobody to help them manage their money. They don't have anything. They're just giving this check and saying, here you go, and we're going to want you to just play ball or whatever. But we don't. All of that comes with a level of responsibility and accountability. And a lot of times, they don't even understand that you just, like you just said, they want a reason. But this one is even a different reason because they get ready to take millions from you.
Yeah. And just to top it off, they were gonna definitely take millions from him because they saw him rising up and they're like, oh, we need a reason to bring him down. But to your point, Mona, I think oftentimes when Kyrie and I talk about, situation, Kyrie does this mostly on TikTok. But when we talk about, protecting Black women, when we talk about, the disparities between Black men and Black women, and that stuff, they often think that we're being either simps or that we're trying to, not acknowledge the fact that, women, Black women, some Black women, will act, irate to to Black men. Nobody's not acknowledging that. But one of the things that I'm talking about when it comes to having a counsel, when it comes to listening to your advisory board and listening to having therapists, is that you start noticing red flags. You cannot get mad at the end result because you've seen the red flags, you've seen the yellow flags already. And so you see the yellow flags, you can't get mad at when those things happen. You know what I'm saying? You have to accept it. It's like, I've already saw this person react to this person the way he is. I've saw this person get mad or yell, or grab this person's arm before, or it's okay, I'm sorry, baby, I won't do it again. Okay, girl. Or you saw the girlfriend go into your phone yelling at you. Why? Who's this? That's my aunt. Oh, well, what were you doing in his phone in the first damn place?
And that's the truth because this didn't just, let me go in and beat her up.
Right.
And she was asleep. This has had steps and it's had processes. So, and the people around them, a lot of times the people around them ain't gonna say nothing. I mean, that yes man situation, R. Kelly in jail behind a whole bunch of yes people. With a whole bunch of yes people because nobody ever wanted to address it. So this young man may have already had anger issues, but ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Especially in his family, he may have anger issues. If he taking care of them, he giving them money, he taking care of bills for everybody, ain't nobody gonna say nothing anyway.
Right. All right.
It's a lot. I can't wait to see what comes out about it because I'm like, I don't believe it was just a situation of happenstance. It's like, no, if she sleep, you walk in there, either you went in her phone, you was already informed of something on your way up, you done planned, like there's no way into crack a vertebrae. Oh yeah, you was knocking the hell out of her, and you crazy. You crazy. You crazy.
Yeah, because you could have stopped. You could have stopped when you walked up to the girl.
Yeah.
And even if let's just say devil's advocate. Well, the devil doesn't need an advocate, but let's just say argument's sake, for the sake of the argument that she amped him up or she threw something at him or there are yellow flags that happen prior to any of this happening. So at the end of the day, you could have prevented all this, but you are so caught up in being the man and having the money and all this stuff, whatever, and not dealing with your own generational traumas that you are allowing yourself to be caught in these situations, and you've given them a reason to stop you from being greater.
Because the NBA now with this situation, and you done got arrested, made the news, and this girl is injured, the NBA gonna deal with you. Your pink slip is coming very, very soon.
Absolutely. You're done.